I bought this set of pump jacks 10 years ago from Cody Bias, and this job is the second time I've used them. Now that doesn't sound like a bargain, does it? But I can tell you I'm delighted to have had and held these things for this period of time in order to have them at my disposal in the two cases where they were the only thing that would do the job. If you've watched our Spec House series, you've watched us use these pump jacks to install this siding. You know, all the way from right there at the top of the first floor wall to the peak of this gable end. And you're going to get a chance to see these be used for painting. Because for siding and painting, in just a lot of cases, pump jacks are the only way to get up to where the work needs to happen. So the pump jack, this is the pump jack. 24 feet from the top to the bottom. That gives you probably, in most cases, maybe, 19 or 20 feet to your foot level max height. That's way up there, and it puts the workbench height up at, 23 feet, maybe. There are a lot of times when that is just about as high as you need to get in residential work. Now a pump jack is terrific if the work you're doing is not real heavy and if you don't need a whole bunch of guys up in the air. 2 guys is about the max, and it's a little wobbly. It's not as sturdy as a scaffold, but it sets up faster and it hauls easier. So in a lot of cases where a scaffolding just doesn't make sense, pump jacks make excellent sense. And in every case, virtually, above about maybe 10 feet, if you've got to go up there and do some work, this beats a ladder almost every way you can talk about it. These are terrific because not only do they create a safe platform to walk on, complete with a workbench, but the whole unit can be raised and lowered with a foot-operated jack. Once you have these things set up, you can go up and down with ease, quickly, and in this case with a 24-foot wide working surface, no additional setup or adjusting required. What this means is you're always working right at a comfortable height with minimal dangerous stretching or reaching. To raise the pump jacks, you stick your foot into that loop so you're on the pump and then simply raise yourself up. You don't go too far on one side until you go to the other side to catch up. With 2 guys it's easy. 1 man on each side, boom, boom, boom. You go right on up. Now to lower them is a little trickier. You push down on it, and while you're pushing on it, you put your other foot out there and hold the release away from the rubber mat that's keeping you alive. And then simply rotate this little roller down, which lets you down in a controlled manner. It works really great. When you oil these, you don't want to get carried away because what you really don't want is oil between this roller or that stop against that rubber mat. No oil, except just a drop here and a drop there to reduce squeaks. So I'm going to raise this up so I can do some caulking on this gable end. I'm going to raise it up maybe 3 feet. Just right. So when you buy a set of pump jacks, they're going to come with these brackets. These brackets attach to the vertical and are sort of engineered so that they will attach to a roof, a pitched roof or an overhang. Most of the time you attach them to the roof because you're going to have to work on the fascia, especially if you're painting. In this case, it just didn't quite work, so I kind of rigged up an attachment there that kept us alive. Generally speaking, in most cases, scaffolding's my first choice. It'll hold more weight, it'll hold more men. It's frankly safer, it's steadier underfoot, it's great. But sometimes, like in this case, there just wasn't room for scaffolding. There was not room for a snorkel lift, there was not room for anything except a set of pump jacks. So with 2 men up here, we were able to use it for the siding, to set the windows. The painter is going to use it for caulking and finishing this off, and then it'll be taken down and probably never be thought of again, at least by me. But if you understand that it's a little wobbly, if you understand that it's easy to haul, easy to set up, if you understand that it does not degrade in the weather, I mean, all it is aluminum, some rubber, a few mechanical connections that need to be lightly oiled. These things will last forever or until you forget to tie them down, whichever comes first. And so if you are a siding man, you already know all about these. If you're a painter, you ought to know about them. And for general use, if you're a general contractor or take sort of remodels and additions and different jobs that come along, keep your eye out for a set of pump jacks. And if they're in good shape and if the price is right, it's worth having them on hand just for the moment when they are the only thing that will do it. So before I sign off here, I would just like to encourage you to check out my ladder safety video, because if you think that these are a little squirrely up in the air, you better stay off a ladder, because even though ladders are necessary, they can be evil. A ladder is something you got to have and you got to watch out for, and there are some things that you better know before you set up a ladder and start climbing up off the ground. Thank you very much for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.